Welcome to Myths, Monsters, and Mullets. You can join and even be a guest on the live every Sunday and Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok by following the link in the description. If you're not on TikTok, but have a paranormal encounter you'd like to share, you can contact me at mythsandmullets@gmail.com. In tonight's special episode, I make a huge announcement as we add a new member to the Myths, Monsters, and Mullets team. It's all coming up after this brief message.
Hello, I am Lafayette Faust, host of the Nevermore Hollows podcast. If you're a fan of horror stories, you will love Nevermore Hollows. It's a collection of stories about a creepy town filled with quirky characters and horrifying monsters. If you're not sure where to begin, let me suggest the episode titled Psycho Juju. I guarantee it's like no horror story you've ever heard. So, I invite you to sit back, turn on a light, and prepare yourself as you listen to us on your favorite podcast platform.
When I started this, it just started out as being just a live paranormal chat. Then I decided to start the YouTube channel. And in an effort to create more content and to have more for people to watch, I have decided to bring in Copenhagen as co-host, I guess you would call him, but he's going to have his own show. And he's going to do some investigating and looking into different cryptids and legends. And then he'll come in after he does his own videos. He's going to come in and have a little segment in each one of my lives every time he has something to report. You're connecting. Copenhagen, my brother, what's going on?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
So I said it at the beginning of the live. I don't know how many people were in here at the time.
Man, dude.
Copenhagen is going to start doing his own segments.
Yeah.
Possibly doing some lives, not on the same nights as me.
Nope. Absolutely. I'm not going to miss your lives, buddy. I'm not going to miss it. Come on.
But I'm gonna have him do some little bit of research into some different topics, and he's going to come in and contribute to my show. And we're going to upload his stuff to the Myths, Monsters, and Mullets YouTube channel. So
my mullet.
You'll be seeing the beard mullet. Party on the bottom.
Forget the back. That's why my YouTube's called Lazy Six. A lot of people don't get it, but watch my six.
Yeah.
I call the Lazy Six.
So welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir.
Copenhagen has a lot of really good stories, and I don't think we've heard them all.
No.
Do you have anything that you would like to share tonight?
Well, I can. The very first one I ever had, and I totally forgot all about it. The very first encounter I ever had in my entire life, and I didn't tell it already, and I can't believe it. It's been killing me that I haven't told it yet, and I forgot all about it, and it's my biggest one, to me anyway.
Right.
All right. So my grandfather ended up contracting Agent Orange from Vietnam. He was a tunnel rat, and he ended up getting it from crawling through the mud and the muck. Okay. And in 1985, I believe, he was diagnosed with it. and it ate him away down to nothing, and he ended up passing in 93, 92, 93, something like that. And it tore me apart, man. Like, he was my everything. Like, I would ride my bicycle all the way from town to his house and home just to go see him. I'd roller skate out there, and come back just to go see him. He meant that much to me. Well, after he passed away, it wasn't. Well, I had to go back because I actually saw my grandfather pass. Okay, and that was devastating because I was only 12 years old, and they took me from school and they drove us out to the house. And my grandfather wasn't a religious man. He never went to church. He never talked about God. Never talked about the military. You would have never knew he had an impeccable service and fought 2 wars. You just would have never known it. He never spoke of it. And when I walked in, I knew something was bad, because there was a chaplain there. And he was laying in the good room and he was doing that fish breath. He was gasping a bit for air. And they were getting ready to give him his last rites. And he looked dead at me, man, and said, "Howie." And he looked at Vern Abney and said, "Vernon," just like that. And he didn't know nobody else. He only knew me and he only knew Vern. And that was it. Well, they take us out of there because he was taking his last. They were giving him his last rites. We leave. My grandpa passes. Go to the funeral. Do all that thing. And I get home and I am devastated, brother. It's like 3 days later after the funeral, and I'm laying on my bed and I'm just crying my eyes out. And I'll never forget it, dude. And it just still to this day, I can feel it. I can feel the presence. I uh I felt the bed push down on the end of my bed. I felt my bed go down. And I sat up and it was my grandfather. And he was in a flannel shirt with his hat, his boots, and a pair of blue jeans that he always wore. Not what he was buried in, but what he always wore. And it's a tough one. And he looked dead at me, dude, and he said, "Everything's gonna be okay." And I rubbed my eyes. He was gone. And that was the
Well,
last I ever saw of him. And now,
so
when I
this
now I drink. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
this is full body apparition.
Full body, full blown. It was him.
Can't see through him right
No.
there.
Mm-mm.
Holy cow!
No, I saw him and he spoke to me. He looked in, he looked at me. He knew it was me. I knew it was him. I mean, it was like you and I speaking to each other right now. It was amazing. It wasn't scary. It wasn't, I mean, you couldn't even tell the man had passed away. You know what I mean? And he didn't look sick. He looked 30 years old. That's another thing. He looked like he was 30 years old again. He didn't look old and sick and frail. He looked young. He looked strong and he looked confident, you know. And then every time I would dream about him, which is quite a bit, he would be young in the dream, and my grandmother would be her original age, which would be 70 or 68 or however age it was, but she was elderly, you know. But I'll be darned, man, every time I would dream about my grandfather, that dude was 25 to 30 years old in his every single time, man. And his skin had a glow about it. His skin always had this sheen.
Wow. You know,
Mhm.
I kind of envy you because I think a lot
I
of
know,
people.
Rod. I got to see my grandpa, bro.
Right, right. A lot of people would like to have that just one last time, and you
Man,
got.
it's the only time that's ever happened, and I begged for it with others. You know.
Wow. Thank
Yep.
you for the heart puffs. Your wife's sending me gifts.
Yeah. I'm kind of. You got me crying on this damn thing, John. Jeez. What are you doing to us tonight, dude?
Well, it's been an emotional one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to show that too often. Dang it. But yeah, that was my very first one, and that was the one that stuck with me hardcore. And I've only told you will probably be the third or fourth person that's ever heard that story because no one ever believed me. They're like, "Oh yeah, you were laying there, you fell asleep, you dreamt it, and this or that." I'm like, "No, dude, no, absolutely not." I was sitting there crying my eyes out, I was bawling, and my grandfather let me know. He sat down on my bed, like my bed went down, and you could hear it because we had bunk beds, and then bunk beds and box springs are noisy. You know, they're nothing to them, man. He sat right down on that sucker, dude, and crossed his leg over one. You know, just it was wild, man. Oh no,
That
it was true for real,
that's
honestly.
amazing. Yeah, I seriously envy you right now.
Yeah, that was the only time I ever got to see him like that. Though, you know, it was because some say that 3 to 4 days after passing, they roam. You know, for 3 to 4 days, that a spirit can roam and visit, right? But they choose who they see or something, or choose how they want to show themselves, or have only so much power to do, however, right? And I figure no one else saw my grandfather. No one else got any kind of sign from my grandfather that they told me about, that he might have just blew it all on me, man, you know? Because
Yeah,
I mean, he was my everything, and I felt like I was his. You know, I mean, he would take me out of school on Fridays, literally every Friday. He would take me out of school, sign me out from elementary school. We would go down to the VA just so I could watch him get his cancer treatments, just so I could understand what it was like for what he had to go through and what the government had done to him. You know,
yeah,
and that's how he saw it. You know, I watched him get a spinal tap. I watched the old school radiation from the 80s and 90s, the old school chemo that made people real sick, brother. You know, so it was nuts. You know, it was something. I don't know. I felt at peace afterwards. You know, it was a very very peaceful feeling because I didn't feel at peace before. You know, so it was crazy.
I'm actually glad that you had that experience
Me
because
too.
that's the kind of paranormal experience you want to have. You
Yeah,
know, and like
yeah.
Laura said, you know, it kind of gives you closure where a lot of times you don't get that.
Mm-mm. I didn't think I'd ever have that. You know, and that gave me 100% closure. Laura's correct. 100% correct, because a lot of people don't get that, and a lot of people, like I said, they beg for it. You know,
Yeah. So everybody
just
that's in
to,
here follows me. I need you to go ahead and follow Copenhagen too,
I'll
because
follow you back.
he's going to have some additional content that's going to tie into my content,
Yep.
and he's going to come in and talk about it once a week or whenever he doesn't lose power. Because the other day he
Right.
lost power, he could come in.
Yeah. Yeah. Being out here in the country, dude, you got wind has no problem taking my power lines down. Or all you got to do is tap a tree out here and it's over with. You know.
Yeah,
I do got one more story I'd like to tell you though. Something that happened right off my back porch. Sorry, I Copenhagen on my finger got my eye a little bit. Um,
that's what it was.
ah, a the UFO deal, right? I have only had one encounter. I wanted to tell you that story. We'll have to wait till next time with my father-in-law. But um, I was out on my back porch one night, and I love to stargaze because I got a great big huge sky right out my back. It's beautiful. I love it, and I love to look at the stars, watch where things move and things. And you'll see odd stuff because I live next to a couple military bases, so you'll see cool planes and different stuff. I've seen the stealth bomber before, and it's really cool. See Air Force One all the time. Well, I look over, due north, straight ahead, and it's broad daylight, and there's this white, pearl white light, and it's about the size of a basketball, right? Way out. I couldn't tell you how far it was out, but it was just above the tree lines, just above our pines. Okay, and I saw this thing for a couple of days, but when I'd come back out with the phone to try to get it on camera, it would be gone. Right. So I thought it was a plane or some crap. But one day, man, I caught that sucker sitting there, and I come in and I come out fast. But by the time I got my phone up and started to record, that thing blipped straight up in the air, like 500 to 1,000 feet in a matter of a snap of a finger. And then you catch it slowly going into the clouds. I've got it on video on my TikTok. And I barely caught it, man. And then you see it just barely going into the clouds. It's wild, but I caught that sucker, dude. 4 days in a row, I tried to get it. On the fourth day, I caught it. I barely caught it. It didn't flash, didn't make any other, it had no sound whatsoever. It just a big white light, and it blip. You didn't even see it move. It blip. It's over here, you know? And that's
That's
it.
that's my first UFO encounter. You took my virginity.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
On this show, first UFO encounter on this show, and I almost got my wife to snort.
I can't believe that, dude. That's not a very good one, but hey, that's something I can't explain, man. I got it on camera too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look through your videos. I didn't see
Yeah,
that one.
it's on my TikTok. I can send it to you if you can't find it, but it's on there. Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
you gotta watch it a couple times, man, because right towards the end of the videos where you just see that white light just start to hit into the clouds. It's the same color as the clouds, but it's a circle, and you'll see it moving into the cloud. You know, it's the same exact color as the clouds. And it just happened to be hovering right above the pine trees. And like I told you, man, when I would come out with my phone, it was like that son of a knew I was there, because I'd go to bring my phone up and it, see, go, you know?
maybe it just wanted to chew. It was like, I need some
Yeah,
Copenhagen.
maybe so. I don't know. There's lots of backfields around this area. I do know one thing though. I did catch it, and I'm glad I did, because man, I was telling people about it, and they were telling me I was crazy, and then the real crazy ones, like uh, they were like, oh well, welcome to the club, brother, and they're coming to get us and take us home. You know, the real alien guys. You know, so, but yeah, I got a
Yeah,
lot of views on that, man. Or well, a lot of people seem to think that they saw. Hopefully, they saw it. But you really got to look at it. You really got to look at the video to see it.
I'll look at it on my computer. That way I can blow it up a little more instead of
And I'm
just on
out
my phone.
every night. Every night I'm out, 2, 3 in the morning trying to, I'm using my laser. I got my laser trying to get something to answer back to me and stuff, but nothing yet.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm looking forward to your segment. What we calling it? Just around the bend, down around the bend. What we call
Just beyond the bend.
it? Beyond the bend.
Yep.
So be looking for
Beyond the
that.
bend. Thank you for helping me with the name.
Yeah, no problem.
I really
Um,
appreciate that. I struggled with that for a little while. I did. I
um,
didn't know. I mean, I had 15 of them.
so be looking for that in the very near future. Get used to seeing the beard mullet, and everybody follow Copenhagen. He's going to
I'll
try to do
follow you
some.
back.
He's going to try to do some lives and kind of like what I'm doing, but with a hillbilly flair.
Oh, now get me on it. I love
So,
this show.
all right. Well, brother, I'll
All
text you
right.
after.
You know
after
how I know? You know how I know you saw what you saw?
how's that?
Because the caliber of men that you've been around your whole life and raised you. I knew better. I saw it right in your face in the beginning, dude. I know. Now, you saw. Yeah, buddy. Ain't no doubt you saw what you saw.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, I'll let you go.
All right, man. I will message you after this.
Okay, everybody. Y'all take care.
See ya.
Bye.
So yes, Copenhagen is joining the Myths, Monsters, and Mullets crew. Um, he wanted to kind of boost his profile a little bit, and I could use the help. You know, um, I saw Cursed Dolls. I believe we've had a conversation before. Um, do you have a paranormal story you would like to share? We've been doing this for an hour and a half tonight. Yeah, it's been a pretty good show. Started off kind of rough for me, but the show itself has been really, really good. Um, we're going to we're going to start uploading these probably um, after a week. Okay, I want to get on a regular schedule of uploading this stuff. I was given some advice today that I may have overloaded my algorithm by posting 8 episodes in 4 days. So, but I needed to get caught up, and this was really the only weekend that I could do it between now and Christmas. So, and I do 2 of these shows a week, so I would have been just buried had I waited any longer. So I'll pick a day, and that way gives me time to edit. And what does everybody think about has everybody went to the YouTube channel? Because I kind of like my intro. And if you don't like it, let me know, because, I want it to be appealing to everybody. But I spent a lot of time on that. I appreciate that, Alan, Copenhagen. It takes a lot of time. Basically every episode, I have to rewatch it. I watch it from beginning to end just to make sure that I make sure I get the personal information out and kind of clean it up a little bit. At the beginning of the show, there's a lot of dead time. Really? Really? Because you guys know I don't read the comments all the time. You're down here talking about me now. Wow. The number 1 and number 2 Cougars, they're turning on me. Wow. Anyway, so each episode takes me about 3 hours just to edit and get it ready to upload. And then depending on don't trust the Cougars. Alan says don't trust the Cougars. And then it takes, depends on my internet speed at the time, and YouTube, you can take up to like 40 minutes to upload an hour and a half video. So I have 3 or 4 hours dedicated to each one of those. I lost a lot of sleep over the last 4 days. Yeah. They only want my PBR. That's right. You know why? Because it's got a blue ribbon. It's the best. See, right here. The best. I do have a little collection of old beer cans and steins and mugs and stuff like that. So, does anybody else have anything? I think Becca, do you want to do your Bigfoot howl?
No. Bigfoot howl, I know what it sounds like.
Well, you haven't been watching enough stuff yet.
Apparently.
I gotta show her. Copenhagen says do it. I gotta show her the Ohio Howl and the Sierra Sounds.
You do it.
I might call them in. I've got my mullet on. If I did a Bigfoot howl right now, they'd probably be breaking in the windows. Female Bigfoot. Wanting some thunder thimble. All right, everybody. My dad has that logo. Oh, this one here has that as their tattoo. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Check out the YouTube channel. Like, comment, share, all PBR. Need to meet your dad. We can have a PBR together. I'm probably old enough to be your dad. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Check out the YouTube channel. Comment, like, share. I would not open that spam chow. No. That might be chunks by now. Thank everybody for coming in tonight. Alan, Madman, Matthew, Spam Chow, Carrie, Copenhagen. No, that was a heck of a list. That's going to take me an hour and a half just to write all that down. And I will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it again. If you know anybody that has a paranormal encounter and might want to be on the show, have them come in tomorrow, drop a comment, and we'll get you in. Talk to you later.